Hey, what's the deal, people? It's your boy Big Star, Raw Sports. RawSports.tv is the website. Raw Sports Films is the YouTube channel. Thank y'all for joining me this evening at a special time of 9 p.m. Eastern. Got a classic episode of Culture Week. Got my man Ryan Press, who's gonna be my guest tonight, man. If you know anything about the Philadelphia area, early mid 2000s, 90, late 90s as it relates to basketball, and early mid 2000s as it relates to the hip hop scene, music scene, all that kind of stuff. You definitely know my man Ryan Press. Definitely a major staple in the Philly area regarding basketball, high school hoops, played college ball at Philadelphia Textile. Not exactly sure his path after Textile, but he's going to get on and share that. Currently, he's the president A&R at Warner Chappell Music, U.S. So if you guys aren't fully aware what an A&R is, you're definitely going to learn tonight. And besides being an A&R, he's the president A&R for a major situation, major label, Warner Chappell Music. So my man's going to talk about all that. But besides that, me and my man Ryan Press, we got a lot of history together. During my, underground, hip hop, music days, we definitely have, history there. And, basketball wise, I actually, got out there and I was, filming some of his games at Textile. So me and him have a long history, man. So this is definitely a special interview for myself. Definitely looking forward to hearing my man Press's story. And what he's going to share regarding gems, things that we're going to learn about him, and be able to learn from his situation. And Culture Week, it's all about just celebrating individuals in the community that are doing major things, man. So it's definitely going to be a pleasure to have my guy here. I see you just joined. Hey, Press, if you listen, I'm gonna see if I can pull you on the screen manually. Give me 1 second. If we can get my man Ryan Press on. My guy, there he is.
What's up, Star?
First off, before I say anything else, just want to clear the air. Listen, hey, everybody that's watching, this is Ryan Press. He could have been featured on Legends Week, but he's a legend in 2 games. So I just figured I'd have him on Culture Week so we could just cover our area. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, just cut it out, man. I was joking, man. I would have turned down that Legends Week. I'm definitely not a Philadelphia basketball legend. I was just joking with you, man. All of us.
You're a legendary individual, man. A legendary friend. We have so many mutual individuals, like all my Westchester crew, Joe Meade, Big Andre Dubose, Terrence Zorn. We family, man. So you're a great guy, man. You're a legendary friend, man. So I could have had you on Legends Week, man.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. We on the group chat joking about it all.
I know y'all be tearing each other up. Hey, that's what's up, man. So I thank you so much for joining me on Culture Week, man. I got the Legends Week series popping, but I realized, like I was telling other individuals, it's a lot more stories that need to be told. You know what I'm saying? Tons more stories. And with my diverse background, I know so many individuals that are doing so many positive things. So I figured I'd start this series, man. And you were one of the first individuals that came to mind. So the whole series of Culture Week, man, is just all about celebrating individuals and from our community. That are doing really positive things in our culture. So you're special because you have some basketball roots. You're doing your thing in in the music world. So I just wanted to take the time to celebrate you, man, and to give the audience a little bit of giving me the opportunity to hear your story, man, and kind of
definitely, man.
What led you to doing what you're doing now, and kind of everything in between, man. So just want to celebrate you, man.
I appreciate it, man. Seriously.
Of course. So it wouldn't be a Culture Week or a Legends Week experience without us getting into 10 random questions. So we're just going to get right into it. I'm going to shoot 10 random things at you, then we're going to get into the story, all right?
All right, let's do it.
All right. So basketball, I'm not going to give you a certain number, like top 3, top 5, nothing like that. But when you think about Philadelphia hoops, who are some, like as far as hoop legends, who are some people that come to mind that you've seen play throughout your years, 80s, 90s, anything?
Yeah, you getting right to it, huh?
Right to it.
For me, I think the best high school player I've ever personally seen is John Haynes.
Gotcha.
That's, just raw talent, get buckets, crazy crowd. For me, I grew up with, I don't know if a lot of people know, Chewy, David Fields, which is like, a cousin of mine, close family friend, but more like a cousin. He played at AFS, so him and Tony Houston, that's family to me. They both went to AFS, so I was like at Chu's side at every game, like just
Gotcha.
going to every game with him. And in the Friends League, they played against GFS,
Mm-hmm.
and when I saw John Haynes, I was like, God damn, like that's like the best person I've probably seen high school.
Gotcha.
Philly legends, man. There's so many. It's
Yeah,
hard to
yeah.
kind of like put that
And curious,
into
what was your class? You were class of what?
97.
97. Got you.
Yeah,
Got you.
yeah, yeah. That's a hard thing to really like put that
Yeah,
into like
of course.
one bucket. But I went down to John Harnett workouts at like an early age, so I got to see the Aaron, the Eddies, everyone, any person you could name that was
You were
down at
you
workouts.
were part of the culture. You seen
Yeah,
it all.
yeah, like all of them people, and just my personal old heads, Cat and Al, and my crew of just people, those were like J Law. They were all the inspiration. Just watching them and just being around them at an early age, watching them grind and really set the example of just like what it was on the basketball side. So it's hard to pin all of that into like
Nah, that's safe, but
into
I
one
trust
kid.
that Jonathan Haynes. I mean, that says a lot right there. That definitely a beast for real. Favorite cartoon growing up?
I didn't watch a lot of cartoons.
Not favorite TV show. Favorite TV show. 80s TV show.
Martin, Fresh Prince. Those are probably like my favorite too.
Classics. Got you. You grew up, somewhat in the 80s and all that kind of stuff. And this one, I don't care if you was on Mars. Everybody watched wrestling. I don't care. Who was one of your favorite wrestlers? NWA, WWF, anything like that?
Ric Flair, Jimmy Fly Snooker.
Yes, there we go. There we go.
My brother was actually into wrestling way more than I was.
Gotcha.
He would have it on all the time.
Gotcha.
But definitely them for sure.
Got you. Basketball wise, at any level, college, textile, summer leagues, high school, or anything. What's the most points you ever scored in the game that you remember?
I scored 40 something in the Donna Frio tournament.
Okay.
That was probably like one of my best games. I played for Cal, Waterview.
Waterview, got you.
I think we played like Samuel Dallenberg.
Oh snap!
I think Al Harrington might have been on that team. All of them.
Oh, so y'all playing the Road Runners?
I think we played the Road Runners.
Yeah,
we lost.
Coach Sandy with the little curly fro used to bring him over from Jersey.
Yeah, we lost.
Road Runners. Yeah.
I think Marv O'Connor, he ain't show up for the game. I think we was both on Waterview at that, or he was gonna play for Waterview in that tournament. We lost, but I had like 40 something in that game.
Gotcha.
If my memory serves me correctly.
No doubt. If you could listen to one R&B album for the rest of your life, you couldn't listen to anything else.
Yeah.
One album for the rest of your life. One R&B album. What would it be?
Probably Mary J. Blige, either "Share My World" or "My Life."
Got you. One hip hop album for the rest of your life. You couldn't listen to any more music except this one rap album. What would it be?
Either Jay-Z, "Reasonable Doubt," or Mobb Deep, "The Infamous."
No doubt. Two classics for sure. Curious, I know you have, music is in your DNA. Do you have any hidden musical talents? Like, can you sing? Did you play any instruments? Any viola, violin?
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
Nothing like that?
I was more like the conceptual guy, just give some ideas and all of that stuff. But I ain't hit any buttons or nothing, no instruments or nothing like that.
No doubt. I could dig it. What's your favorite food? If you can go with one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Rice.
Rice. Any particular,
different types of
rice, white rice or rice?
White gravy. White rice and gravy is probably my favorite.
Got you. What's one piece of advice that we got you here? What's one piece of big advice that you would give if it's any aspiring recording artists, any musicians that are watching the broadcast? What's one piece of big advice that you would give to them? Somebody that's trying to crack into the industry.
When you walk into Dr. Dre's studio, it's this big sign that says your ego is not your amigo.
Ooh, I like that.
That's just a piece of advice I've always just kind of just taken with me each step of the way. Like never never read your own headlines, never get too caught up in yourself, never feel like you're too big or small for any situation. The same people you see on the way up, you're gonna see on the way down.
100%.
So I just try to just remain humble and just not take myself too serious. So
No doubt.
any step of the way I go, I'm still not too good to do any certain job or look at myself as above anything or anything like that. To get in the music business, I've worn every hat. I've done everything. I went to the store. I was the
No
driver.
doubt.
I was
No
the
doubt. No
assistant.
doubt.
I was willing to do any and everything. Outside of sell my soul, but
No
like
doubt. I
just
mean, but in pursuing excellence, man, and the humility piece of it, and too much is given, much is required. You know what I'm saying, from a faith perspective, all that. But it's like, look, if you have goals on getting somewhere, if whatever you need me to do, I'm gonna do it. So, that's exactly what you're
absolutely,
saying. If this is
absolutely.
if this is the season of me shining shoes or running errands or being the limo driver, I'm gonna be the best darn limo driver that they got in this place.
I
You
did
know
it
what I'm
all.
saying?
Like literally, my first trip to New York really when Sparks asked me to go there with him. He needed a ride.
No
Like
doubt.
yo, who got a whip? I'm like,
No
I do.
doubt.
I'm driving.
Got you. I'm on it for
Um,
sure.
so just different things like that. Just not feeling like you're too good for anything.
No doubt. Appreciate that. And last question regarding the 10 random questions. One last thing. Regarding basketball. Can you still get to a bucket, man? Are you still in shape? Can you still get down?
I'm still in shape, man. I'm still gunning a little bit in the pickup runs. Due to the Corona, COVID-19 thing, I haven't played ball this year.
Okay.
So I'm sure I'm super rusty right now.
But you
But
can
we
still,
still,
if need be, you can still get to a
yeah,
bucket.
yeah, we still, before everything happened out here in LA, we still played like every Saturday. Like me and Kat, playing this thing every Saturday with like a
Okay.
bunch of ex NBA players, ex college players, current college players, all
So
that stuff.
would there be a Ryan Press sighting in the Drew League or something out there or something?
Nah, we ain't doing all of that. I got
Oh,
a
not
job to
that
do
level,
during
not
the
that
week.
level.
I can't be catching no injuries and all of that stuff. We ain't going that
No
hard.
doubt. No doubt. That's what's up, man. Well, I appreciate the warm up, man. We're just gonna get right into the story, man. If you
Okay.
can, man, just take us back to the beginning. Matter of fact, for anyone who's not fully aware of who Ryan Press is,
Uh-huh.
just reintroduce yourself to the audience and let us know what it is that you currently do now, your current hat, your current role at your company.
Okay. Ryan Press from Philly, Mount Airy to be specific. Played ball and went to Bishop McDevitt High School. Then went to Philadelphia Textiles, and then it was changed to Philadelphia University. From there, myself and my best friend Chad West started a production company, got into music, all of that stuff. We'll talk about all of that. Fast forward to now, I'm the president of A&R in the U.S. at Warner Chappell, which is one of the major music publishing companies out here based in L.A. Been in my current role for 2 years now. Been at the company 11 years. And just been in the music business probably since I was 21.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a little old right now. So,
No doubt.
that means I've been in it a long time.
No doubt. So if it's anyone who doesn't know like what an A&R is, like describe that real quick. Just describe what an A&R is so people can kind of, get ingest that and so they'll be able to follow
Sure.
us better.
There's so many definitions of what an A&R is, but I guess, for me, one, it starts with someone who has ears. You got to have ears for the job, hustle, relationships. You got to be able to bond with artists, songwriters, producers. And you're that creative partner for artists to lean on, trade ideas, go back and forth. Hopefully you get to that point where you have that real connection where you can be honest with each other. And you're really that person that an artist trusts or a songwriter or producer trusts where y'all can bounce ideas off and be vulnerable. Artists are guarded sometimes and they need that safe space to be vulnerable. And you're a person that's bringing creative ideas and creative connections to the table. So, what that might be connecting a songwriter with the right producer. That might be connecting, artists with the right person that writes hooks, or that brings the right beats to the table. And then you go inside the building and you're their main champion. And then you're making the building move and getting those things facilitated that the artist is trying to do. And you're just a added member to the team, but you're there to be that creative connection.
Gotcha.
With somebody.
Appreciate it. So, sorry, that's where we are now. But I want to go back kind of to the beginning. So, if you can't take us back to the beginning, let us know kind of like, just kind of where the story begins for Ryan Press. Tell me a little bit about your family dynamic and kind of, just kind of start us there.
For sure. I think everyone knows at this point, my pops is in the Temptations.
Yes, sir.
He's been in the Temptations, my entire life. So I grew up, in and around the music business, but that had really zero, connection to how I got in the music business. I played ball and partied, really, went to Sunny Hill, John Chaney camp, back in the day. I actually met Ashley Howard there, who's, the coach of LaSalle right now. That's literally where we met. We were roommates.
No doubt. I didn't know that. That's dope. I didn't know that.
We were roommates and both too young to be there. So I think that's why they put us in the room together. And, played ball. I didn't really take it that serious. I lived around the corner from Joe, who I see is talking trash in the chat. So I played football and basketball growing up together, but Joe and I used to play one-on-ones forever when we were young, just going to each other's houses and messed around with ball. It was just, I was about partying and going out and being social, at the end of the day. But I met Mike Jordan, and, he was on me about taking ball serious. Yo, you should come to John Harnett's Saturday nights. And I'm like, yo, are you crazy? I'm trying to be down South Street right now.
Of course, especially in the spring and the summer.
I'm trying to go out, So my brother played, obviously I wanted to be just like my brother. So, just watching him, play for Waterview and the Medics and, running around with Al and Cat and all of these people, I wasn't really taking it super serious until Mike was like, yo, come on, man, let's get serious about this thing. You could play. So, started going down workouts a lot more, and then just being around my brother and Al and Cat and LP and Ash and Joe and everyone else.
How could you not find your own love for it?
Yeah, for sure. But in camp, though, I met everyone. It damn near met all the people, a lot of the people I know in basketball at Sunny Hill John Chaney camp, back then, it was Jules and Tamir and, all of us was at camp, at a very early age and met each other, and Ash and, just developed a relationship from going to camp so many years. So when I started taking basketball a little more serious, kind of reconnected with everybody that I was naturally already cool with through camp, and started playing, obviously, in the Sunny Hill League and all of that stuff. I ain't get no burn though. 9th, 10th grade, I was on the bench. I remember Rodney Andy was like, man, you ain't never playing for John Harnett. We were sitting in the locker room at Temple. He was like, man, you ain't never making that team.
That's crazy. Hey, real quick, just want to shout out, whenever some legends in the building, got to shout them out. Of course, we got Joe Meade in the building. We got Marv O'Connor watching. We got Tamir Harbin who said F the Medics. We got everybody in the building.
That's all my guys, man. That's all the family right there. But started taking it a little more serious, and really locking in around 11th grade, middle of 10th grade.
And this was the time were you at McDevitt?
I was at McDevitt. I played.
You played from the Sunny Hill and all that.
I played for McDevitt the whole time. I would say 10th grade, summer, 11th grade is when I started to get real serious about it. And started working out more and really just being with all of the people I named and all of that stuff, and played for the Medics. I know Tamir talking trash, but played for the Medics, where we had a bomb squad. Our squad was crazy.
Who was some of the teammates?
It was me, Ant Green, Marv, Chuck, Sean Mumford, John Salmons, Meatball. Who else am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting somebody. Somebody gonna kill me, but we had a squad, yo. Like it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we didn't win the championship, but
And that's the team you play. And
Joe
that's the team you
Crispin
played.
went.
And that's the
Joe,
team you played in the Donofrio with.
no, I didn't play in the Donofrio with them. That was down the Hill League. But Joe
Oh, that's
Crispin
right.
went
That's right. That's right. That's right.
crazy on us in the semifinals.
Yeah.
We all got them buckets. Me, Mark, Chuck, Ed,
Mm.
Sean, everybody. That's probably one of the best games I ever seen him play. But
Wow, that's crazy.
that was all. That's where I developed all of those relationships and just close bonds from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm laughing at Marv on his chat because Marv used to go crazy and be like, "Man, I love these rims down Temple. I'm going to Temple." He hit a three and be running down the court like, "Yo, I'm going to Temple. I love these rims." But that's where that's where I developed a lot of my relationships, people that I'm
Yeah.
still tight with to this day.
At what point? At what point did you, like, regarding your basketball game? At what point did you start to, like, really develop and kind of come into your, like, get your confidence, get your own confidence, and start to notice you was you was getting a little bit better.
I think I was a late developer, to be honest, man.
And it's not wrong. It's not wrong with that.
Yeah,
It's not,
I think
it's tons. Some guys even bloom in college. Like it's not wrong with being a late bloomer. It's not wrong with that.
Yeah, I think honestly, I did good my senior year in high school, but I think really when I got to college is when I really started to come into my own of like, some of the people who might have been better than me when we were in high school. I felt like by college I had caught up to them and like, passed some of the people like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was like my real, to me, like coming out was like more in the college zone.
Gotcha. What? One more thing about high school. What's one of your most memorable moments at McDevitt?
Ash gonna kill me, man. But Ash gonna kill me. But his uncle G was our assistant coach, and my assistant coach, and more like a father figure to me, and like a mentor, and all of that stuff. He used to take me home from practice, kick it with me and my moms, all that stuff. Like, miss my guy G, but G set up for us to be in the tournament at St. Joe's Prep, and St. Joe's Prep, they had already beat GA with Jules and all of them. I think they beat Joe and them at LaSalle. So we playing them in their tournament. I'm thinking in my head, like, man, they might rock us. You know what I mean? Like, they just beat GA. Like, GA was crazy.
Uh-huh.
So I went crazy at St. Joe's Prep, probably like 35. We was running Ash off of like 95 screens, triple screens, everything. He probably had to get shoulder surgery after all the screens he was running into.
Yo, that's crazy.
But that's like one of them in high school. And then me and Joe, we lived a couple blocks from each other. So, one of my best friends, since like 4 or 5 years old, we were also high school rivals. So
gotcha.
Playing him, them beating us one game, us beating them in our gym, like that was like probably my most memorable high school thing, is that me and one of my best friends were like high school rivals and didn't go to the same high school. I don't know why, but
yeah. Oh, no, you realize that how crazy that would have been? You and Joe being in the same school, that would have been crazy.
It's crazy.
Dog.
It's crazy.
But I'm sure that added to the memories, for y'all to be able to be rivals, though.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Hey, so take me through real quick. Take me through your career in textiles, man, and kind of some of your accomplishments, memorable experiences there and all that.
Textiles was great, man. I didn't know where I was going to go. I was holding out. Obviously, everyone wants to go D1. So, I had a couple options. I could have went to Lafayette and a couple schools that in the Patriot League. And
they were like Bucknell, them types of
Yeah, Bucknell. It's crazy. I was on my way to Bucknell. I was
you?
At the train station, and they hit me like, man, our #1 recruit just signed. And I was like, God damn. And
for real? I just threw that name out there. So you was possibly going to be going to Bucknell.
Yeah, for sure. It was like Bucknell, Lafayette, Lehigh, a lot of those schools.
Exactly.
Like Morgan State, all of the schools, HBCU schools, a bunch of different options. But Chewy had went to textiles, so I had already been at textiles for 4 years straight with his career, and him being there. So I was very familiar with the program. And Billy Lang is the one that he chased me out of the Donofrio tournament and was like, yo, we didn't offer you yet. And I'm like, nah, not yet. And he was like, yo, I need you to come up to the school like immediately. And And then it was right, right around the corner. So I was just like, yo, I'm going here. I had history there.
Okay.
I had watched, Coach Herb McGee for a long time. So I was just like, yo, let me go there. But
Yeah.
my experience there it was good, man. When I first got there, I'm
I mean,
like, yo,
it just seemed like you can really get busy in that joint because it's a small gym. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You
yeah.
feel like you really like when a couple games I seen you in there, you own that gym, man.
Yeah, yeah. When I first got there, I was like, I'm about to be the man, all of this. And then this dude named Tone Jefferson from Lancaster walks in the gym. He's
Oh, that's Tone with
360.
the hops, right?
Yeah, he's doing 360
Oh
with
my
Tim's
God,
on. And I was
he's like
like,
Vince
damn.
Carter, man.
I was like, man, I got to take a back seat. This dude about to go to the league.
Yes.
So, my freshman year, I was all right. More so like Tex took me in like a little brother, Tex Mack. And, I was really rolling with Tex, man. Tex was like a goon out there on the court, man. Tex was rebounding that thing like Rodman,
Oh, that's Tex Mac that be on the feed, like that be in here.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize he was at Textile with you as well.
Yeah. He was there my freshman year, and he was graduating, but stayed. He
Okay.
was doing like a graduate program.
Okay.
Stayed an extra year after that. But Tex
Gotcha.
was like my big brother. Taking trips down South Philly to 7th Street.
No doubt.
Just being there to make sure my transition was good. By sophomore year, we were like trending to be like super good, and Bobby Fitzgerald was the man on our squad. He got hurt like in the second game of the season or something like that. He had just transferred from Ryder, and he got hurt, and it was just my squad from there. So sophomore year I was going crazy. Probably was averaging like 19, 20. We were winning, just going crazy, and I hit like 3 buzzer beaters in a row. Like it was like one of those seasons. I was about to win like MVP of the league.
Of course.
All of that stuff. And then I got caught up and got suspended and all of this stuff at the end of the season, man. Really messed my whole situation up, man. But it was the moment in my life that I needed to really just get myself together. So I know everyone, it's cliche to say like you have no regrets, but like I do regret that moment. But on the positive side, like I needed that to happen to grow up as a man.
So at that moment you felt like that kind of like, and sometimes you don't realize it in the moment. It takes some years later to kind of reflect back on that moment to kind of see what that did for you. So did you notice it in the moment? And if not, when did you realize what that moment
in the
did
moment? I definitely was like, this is like a crossroad, and I gotta be focused from here on, and like kind of like grow up and just chill with all of all of my little BS,
Yeah, for sure.
So that was a good experience for me. When I was balling that year, I was killing, and all of that stuff happened. Still ended up making like first team all league. All of that stuff, which was great. And then that was your sophomore. Yeah, that was my sophomore year.
Gotcha.
And I had like potential things to transfer to like some D1 schools happening at that time too. So like when that happened, it kind of, I don't know if I actually would have left, but it kind of like messed everything up, with that situation. But, my junior year, Ty Crutchfield transferred to Textiles, and also Abdul transferred that year or the year after. I think Abdul Kaya transferred.
Abdul Kaya. Yeah, I remember, a couple games that I filmed and came and saw you guys. I don't think I remember watching Ab with y'all.
Yeah, he might have transferred the year after, but when Ty got there, yo, man, Ty Crutchfield is one of the most underrated,
For sure. He definitely don't get the props he deserves,
basketball players.
Man.
Like, I feel like Ty could have started at any one of the D1 schools. Like, he was that good.
For sure.
6'7", shoot that thing from half court.
Yes.
Was tough.
And he could shoot it from half court consistently, too.
And talking shit, that was my man.
His little quick, tall guy crossover,
Yeah, we both was jacking, so it was like a lot of like
I mean, it don't even seem like it would have been enough basketballs in the gym for both y'all.
Yeah, it was definitely a battle of whose team it was. But looking back, just thinking about it, like me and Ty should have been, going crazy, even way more than we were. But it took our junior year to get like adjusted to, playing together. But, Still had a great season. I led the conference in assists
Oh, did you? That's what's up.
my junior year, probably like 10, 11 assists per game. Probably averaged
Whoa!
like
Wow.
they probably averaged like 18, 19 my junior year. We did okay, but then my senior year we were really good.
Okay.
Like really good. Went to the tournament, won a couple games in the tournament, averaged like, 21. Me and Ty were killing. We
Mm-hmm.
both were like in the All American, thing, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
is. I think they do it by areas.
Okay.
So, in our region, won a game in the tournament. Probably had like 30 something in that game. Like we were rolling my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
Scrimmaging, we scrimmaged Penn, St. Joe's that year. Was holding our own and then
Of
getting mopped
course.
at the end. But senior year was good. All in all, my college career was, I think, was good. I enjoyed the experience. I got a chance to play all 4 years. I didn't come
Mm-hmm.
out the game
Mm-hmm.
sophomore, junior, senior year. I felt like definitely could have played D1, but to play D2, I got the opportunity to play right away, be the man, all of that. I was right in the city, was at Temple all day, every day, at Penn with LP and Mike all day, every
Mm-hmm.
day, at Drexel hanging with Ash, so
No
just
doubt.
staying in Philly and having the full experience with all my people.
Mm-hmm.
I love my experience at Textiles. Got to play for Herb McGee.
Yeah.
We butted heads a lot, but he's a legendary coach.
Of course.
And we just had our differences at moments, but
Yeah.
we worked through them. And he never took me out the game, so what could you really complain about?
No doubt.
And then I had an
Okay.
athletic director that just really like supported me and was always there for me. So I have nothing bad to say. I love my college experience playing ball.
No doubt. And just out of curiosity, what did you study besides basketball?
I started as a pre-med major,
Oh, wow.
and then you do like 3 labs a day, like 3 hours a piece, and it just becomes crazy. So
And
I
then
couldn't
balancing
keep up
that with
with all of that.
basketball demands, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I couldn't keep up with all of that. So
Wow.
I switched to marketing and really
Okay.
studied marketing.
Okay, cool. So did you have any because Ty, was set on either, going pro or going overseas, went overseas. Did you have any idea as far as any insight or any vision of seeing yourself playing basketball after, playing
Yeah,
professionally overseas?
I wanted to play overseas. I wanted to play bad. I was working out, I was down John's, doing my thing, trying to see where I could get an opportunity at.
Like, did you just have I know Hardnet had a lot of connections. Like, did you have
Yeah.
agents?
I went
have
to
connections from friends and family or what?
I was connected with all that stuff. Me and Lamar Plummer went to like a bunch of like free agent, not a bunch, but we went to this free agent camp in Utah for like overseas stuff. I remember going to that. I was on the circuit trying to do it.
So you was focused trying to pursue it.
Yeah, I ended up getting a couple offers. I had a serious offer to play in Lebanon.
Oh, wow.
And at the time, I just wasn't mentally prepared. I was just
Okay.
like, man, that sounds like way too far for me. Like,
so you was a homeboy. You wanted to stay home.
yeah. I was like, man, I don't know about all that. I
No
wanted it on
doubt.
my terms. Mike is like,
no doubt.
Mike is in Israel somewhere. I forget where Mike Jordan's at. He's like, yo, come on, man. You got to do it. And I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that.
So that's interesting. So you have MJ in your ear who inspired you and kind of motivated you to take ball serious, and then you have MJ again at another milestone, but he didn't win you over that time to go overseas.
Yeah, Mike was always in my ear about hoops because he didn't do nothing but play ball.
Exactly.
All day, every day. So he was always just in my ear about it. But
do you ever not regrets, because I don't believe in regrets or anything like that, but do you ever think like what if you would have at least went over there and tried it to kind of see?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I feel like you never lose that, so it's always like, man, I should have just did it 1 year. I should have tried it. I watched Ty, for example, play ball for like 10 years. I was just like, damn, watching him and all my other friends, play. Definitely, you're like, man, I should have did it. So I still say that now.
Yeah. So regarding college was over. Playing professionally, you didn't pursue that. So did that end it for you as far as like your hoop dream? Just besides you playing in leagues and all that kind of stuff, was
It
that
didn't really end like abruptly. I see Tex just joined here. Tex, I was just telling him, man, when I got the text out, you was my big bro,
for
held me
sure?
down, made sure I was straight up there. But it didn't end like so abruptly. So what happened was I used to work out in the morning with Al and Cat during the summer. Cat would come pick me up, or when he was out of town, work out, go lift weights with Al. Would be at Al's house after we might have worked out and lifted weights, 8 in the morning, and then went to
Hmm.
John's and probably be done at like 12, 1 after we ate. And then after that, I ain't had nothing to do, so I used to go to the studio and
Uh-huh.
just hang out with Chad West in the studio and just really
Hmm.
just sit there all night, just
Uh-huh.
listening, chilling,
Because
just
regardless of it's not like you, correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't have like a motive, like that was just your man. You were just
yeah,
that
that
was
was
the
just my
vibe.
man.
Back then that was
I
the
was doing the
vibe. That was
same.
the vibe. That just hanging in
I
the
was
studio and all that.
I was doing the same thing we would do in his house. Like at
Exactly.
13 years old. So I was just chilling, and that would be every day. Work out with Al, lift weights, do all of that. Al, Jay, everybody would be at Al's, house and just chilling. And then at night, it's be in the studio. So just doing that, every now and then give Chad an idea to go back to chilling, get something to eat.
Hmm.
And, it started to pick up. He started getting way better. And he had a meeting one time. And we're sitting in this meeting. I'm like half asleep, sitting there laying with my head to the side. And somebody was like, "Yo, who's your manager?" And he's like, "He is,"
Oh,
because
wow.
he didn't really like to talk business. So
Wow.
and Chad doesn't really like to talk to anybody back then. So it was like, "Who's your manager? Who do I talk about the business with?" And he was like, "Him right here." And I'm looking at him like, "Is this guy crazy?" Um,
Yo, this is
so
exclusive right here.
yeah,
Yo, this is
yeah.
dope.
So after the meeting, I'm like, "Yo, Chad, you serious?" And yeah, I was at a restaurant. I forget who asked me that, but somebody asked in the chat. But I'm like, "Yo, you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, man, you should manage me." He's like, "Yo,
Wow.
he's like, I don't really trust nobody. You should grind this out with me." And I'm like, "All right,
Let's rock
let's do
out.
it." And we got an apartment, put a studio in that thing.
Okay, so you explain how that went down. Did you and you had the business background, pre-med major, this and that. You were who you were. You had some, musical roots regarding in your DNA, all that kind of stuff. This is your man, regardless. Like this is your
Yeah,
man.
for
This
sure.
is your man. So if your homie asks you to do something, even if you ain't comfortable, just because on the strength of that being your man, I'm sure you'll just try it regardless.
Absolutely.
But
And
but but
Chad was like
but was
my,
there
my
but was there like a nervousness that came over you? Like, wait, I can't, like in the back of your mind, like, wait, manager, I don't know what the first thing. I mean, or was you just like, look, let's rock out.
I mean, a little bit. Yeah, I agree a little bit. Chad is older than me, so for one, that's my like big bro,
Mm-hmm.
kinda. And our families are super tight, and I know this is his dream at that
Mm-hmm.
time. I've watched Chad get keyboards and everything since we was 11, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So the nerves were more or less like I gotta deliver for my guy because this is his dream.
Got you.
At that time, I can't say that it was like my dream at
Mm-hmm.
that point. I
Yeah.
love I love music, but I was kind of nervous from the point of view of like I gotta deliver for my man,
Got you.
because this is all he's been doing our entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So that fueled me to make sure like I was going hard with like all of my relationships
Okay.
and trying to make stuff happen. So that
Mm-hmm.
was like the initial like genesis of like that whole thing. We moved in together, put a studio in there, and then we just started grinding.
Got you. That's awesome, man. So take me through the evolution of that period, because that was a special era. Okay, put it in perspective. Around what year was this, so people can understand?
So this is like, this is kind of like my senior year of college going into like, my, like 2001, 2002.
And especially in
Um,
the Philly area, that was a special era. That was my
yeah,
era. True off the streets. It was a lot going on the underground.
absolutely.
The figures. State property. all that stuff. We had a really rich culture of stuff, and it was always something to do regarding hip hop around that time. So for sure. So okay. So take me from that point and just continue to explain the
Yeah,
evolution
yeah.
of yourself and
So
Chad.
basically, we moved in together, and we started. We really were at Philly International first.
Okay.
We were with like there's a whole little crew called Five Star, like Pop Tracks,
Yeah, Pop Tracks. I was
Chad,
around there on Broad Street of Philly. Exactly.
Khalif, Derek, Sonny. It was a bunch of us down there. I'm blanking on every Tahir. It was a bunch of us down there. Tony D, rest in peace. Carl. It was a bunch of us down there just grinding it out. We had like 3 rooms down 309 South Broad.
Mm-hmm.
And we just down there working, just going hard, just not really knowing what we're doing, but just, doing music, having
Yeah.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Chad kind of broke off and like got our own studio in our crib. And we were just hustling at the end of the day. Chad was just making beats. We was having different people come through. We ended up getting one joint to Sparks.
Mm-hmm.
And without Sparks, I wouldn't be here,
Okay.
honestly, man.
Gotcha.
Like, and if anyone's followed any interview, I say it's always the same story.
Mm-hmm.
We got this track called "Want Me Back" to Sparks, which is on the State Property album, and he wanted to buy the track. And me and Sparks started talking, and he's like, "Yo, I need a ride to New York. I want to work out this business. I'm going to New York. I need you to come." And I'm like, "Yo, I'll drive you." Like, "Yo, you going to Rocafella?" Like at that time, I'm like, "What?"
Oh man,
like,
for sure.
Like, yo, I'm out. So me and Sparks go to Baseline Studios.
Wow.
Sparks takes me right in the mix. It's
Wow.
Jay-Z's birthday.
Wow.
First time up there, and he's telling them he wants to buy the track. I got a whole other pack of tracks ready to go.
So you were going up there, like one providing the ride, and then also to seal a potential deal regarding
seal
a
a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that, and everything went good. Had a good time. Came back, and me and Spark started to build a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like my brother at the time, and still
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm-hmm.
But we started just going back and forth to New York a lot when we were trying to work out this one beat. So me and Sparks got super cool to the point where at the time it was like 2-way pagers out.
Guys,
and I'm like, yo, Sparks, let me get some of these contacts in your 2-way, cause like I need to get some beats off to some other rappers. And he was like, shit, I don't care, whatever. So
yo, listen, hold that thought. These young people in 2020 press don't understand. That's the grind right there, man. Like just doing what you got to do and networking and like, you know what I mean? Like that was the grind right there, man.
Absolutely. So Sparks gives me his 2-way. I'm beaming contacts to my phone. Nate, Cameron, Dame Dash, Jadakiss,
You wasn't going with the low ball. You was the head.
I'm beaming all of these contacts back and forth. So I used to hit artists, but I would say I was Sparks. I would be like, yo, my boy Chad West got some beats. You should connect with him. Yo, this is Sparks. So people would hit me back and be like, yo, send them through.
Yeah.
So one time I was driving back from New York. I had went through the Lincoln Tunnel and everything. And Cameron responds like, yo, come to the studio.
Wow.
I bang a U-turn on 95, go back through the tunnel, go to the studio. When I get in front of Sony Studios, I hit him and I'm like, yo, he's just going to come and play. I got something to do, as if I was Sparks. You know what I'm saying? So they let me in. It's like 50 people in the studio, weed smoke everywhere. I start playing the beats. They're not responding to like the first 7 or 8. I'm getting nervous in that joint.
Oh, man.
It gets to like number 9 or 10. He like that one and that one. I'm like,
okay, okay.
So that's how I met Cam, and that's really the first check I got in the music industry. And I always salute Cam. Like,
wow.
Anyone that asks, like Dipset, I got my first check with them.
Wow.
But on the way back one time, I hit Young Chris and I hit Neef with the same message. And Chris hits me back, yo, where the studio? I'm coming through. Chris and Neef came to the studio on 17th and Wallace, and they never left.
Wow.
And that's really how everything started to evolve. The Young Guns came through, and that's how we did really the first album, Tough Love. I think we did 10 songs on the album.
Wow.
They came to the studio and never left. And at that point, I'm like, okay, now I'm in the game.
Yes. Yes.
And then Chris and Neef, they became family. Paz and Peen and everybody and Wright. They just started basically, all of them just started like living at our crib in 17th and Wallace. So it was really just us at that point. It was really Peen, myself,
Like
Chris,
a little camp. That was like the little
Neef,
camp
and
right there.
Wright, and a couple other people, and Chad. And that was really the crew. And we just started going back and forth to New York from there. And once I got to Rocafella, I never left. I just wanted to learn as much as I could. And Lenny S. and Shalik and Ramses and a bunch of people had an office. And I used to just be parked up in the office every day, driving back and forth to New York, just trying to learn. And once I got in to Rocafella, it was like I'm never leaving the music business at this point.
Yeah.
And then one day, just to kind of sum the Rocafella piece up, one day I'm sitting in the office and Biggs' assistant comes out and was like, yo, Biggs wants to talk to you in his office. He heard you got the music.
Okay.
And I got all the Young Gun songs, right? But I'm in my head, everybody used to be like, yo, don't play nothing for the label. So I'm sitting here like Biggs is calling me in his office. The Young Gun's going to kill me. I'm like, what do I do here? So Biggs is like, I'm sitting in front of Biggs.
You got to think quick.
He's like, yo, I heard you got the music. And I'm like, fuck it. And I just played the songs, right? And he was like, yo, the album is right here. We ready to go. I played him No Better Love when it ain't had no hook on it. And he was actually like, yo, we should get Rel to do the hook. And all of that, did that right in his office. And then he was like, you know what, I want to sign y'all. And I was like, let's do it. And Biggs gave us that first real big check to like be comfortable to like take it serious.
Like when you say sign y'all, meaning like you and Chad?
Like me and Chad, it was a production company. I was managing him. So just like our
So it's like hold that thought. I don't want to cloud your thoughts. I'm just curious. Okay. Like, so okay, you're the manager and then Chad is the producer. Like, did you feel like at any point where, some people be like, all right, well, how it goes sometimes, you kind of feel like they start kind of slide you out. We only kind of want Chad. Or did you feel like, no, this is always the package?
No, I mean, two parts of that. One, me and Chad are, that's one of my best friends from like, ninth grade, eighth grade. So like nothing was ever going to come in between that. And Chad is one of the most loyal people, even if it ain't the best situation for him, he's loyal to a fault. So I never worried about that. But on the flip side, I was the one that went to New York all the time. He didn't want to talk to nobody. So a lot of times people thought I was the producer.
Got you.
And they looked at it as one and the same. If it was me, it was Chad. If it was Chad, it was me. It was us.
Got you.
So it wasn't like that. But Biggs gave us a song deal.
So it was genuine, like I want to sign y'all, like
He was like, I want to sign y'all, and did it. It happened in a week or so.
Wow.
And that was the deal that changed our life and like really made us like official, part of like the state property Rocafella family.
Yo, that's dope, man. So what's going through your mind at that point? So this is Chad's dream. Like, and I appreciate at the top of the interview you said how your dad was with the Temptations, but that really didn't give you the passion and to say, yo, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna follow my dad's dreams. You were hooping, you were partying, you were doing what you were doing. Your man Chad, this is his dream.
For sure.
Yo, who's your manager? My best friend is my manager. All right, let's rock out. Now all of a sudden, a couple years later or less, you have a major deal on the table, and you have these guys who go to Howard University, they're involved with music all their life, chasing something like this, and it doesn't happen.
For sure.
But for you guys, right place, right time, you have favor, and now you're in this situation. What's going through your mind at that moment, man?
I mean, at that point, I'm like, yo, I came through for my man, I'm like, we on,
Yes.
It's Rocafella at that point, it's the hottest thing on earth. At that point, so we hype at that point. We in the clubs in Philly, we buying little Moet bottles. We living our life. We
and real quick, one more thing. How proud of you? How proud of Chad were you in that moment? And what if you can remember anything that you may have said to him, man? Just how proud.
I was super excited. Like I was telling you, just that was his dream growing up. And just from like I said, from an early age. So to be able to come through for my boy that was like, you know, a dream. And then also another friend of mine, Shane, was in the music and he was with us too. So it just felt like a win for our neighborhood, you know, honestly, like, cause a lot of us were in music, you know, Santi Gold grew up around the corner from us, you know, her younger brother Ali, you know, Chad, Shane, everyone in our neighborhood, we were all in music, you know, or
Mm-hmm.
trying to be in music. So, you know, like when we got that, it was like all of us made it, you know,
That's
like, and
right.
everyone was hyped, you know, Joe was hyped, my boy Mill, you know, Butter, you know, everybody from our neighborhood was just, you know, the whole Stanton Ave, as Tanya said on here.
Yeah, yeah.
Stanton Ave was,
Oh,
you know,
my man, what's up? My man MJ said y'all ain't invite him to the club. What's up, man?
Mike was in the gym somewhere, man, overseas. But you know, LP, everyone was just excited. So I was more hyped from that point. You know, just like yo, we did it. You know, we made it. But you know, the eye was definitely on bigger things. You know,
Of
like
course.
okay, we did this. Now, how do we get music to? Now we're on the Young Guns. How do I get the Freeway? How do I
Of
get
course.
to
Yep.
Petey? How do I get the Beans?
Mm-hmm.
How do I get to Jay? And you know, just trying to like keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
So once that got started, and we really like just started grinding out with the Young Guns, I started meeting the rest of the crew and just started meeting, you know, who you know I had a close relationship with Sparks, but then I met Oskino, and then it was Free, and you know everyone else all up in the crew. And once we started getting with everybody, I'm giving beats to everybody, and I'm
Of
bringing
course.
everyone down the studio, and I'm seeing all of the situations I can do with everybody. So I'm hitting PD like, yo, I got a show for you. You know, I got this little situation over here. I'm hitting Freeway with the same thing. You know, me and Beans are doing a little business, and it just grew from there.
Mm-hmm. And I'm
And
sure that was a blessing, although this was like a New York-based company, you know, you were still dealing with Philadelphia-based artists, which was, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like a different type of connection for you as well. You know what I mean? Although
absolutely,
you were abroad, it was an away game, but it still had a home feel
I
to it.
was with my people at the end of the day. You know,
Exactly.
so I felt comfortable.
Exactly. For sure. So where did we go from there, man?
So from there, what happened next? I started managing Freeway.
Okay.
You know, developed a relationship with him. Started managing him. You know, there's a lot of like, you know, on the road with him and
Mm-hmm.
cousin E. You know, we were doing a lot together with Freeway.
Mm-hmm.
And my boy Leighton was involved, who's DJ Drama and Cannon's partner. You know, they signed Lil Uzi and a bunch of other artists, but he used to do like road management for us at the time and like help us put songs together and all of that stuff. So started, you know, working with Freeway. Started to wanted to expand on just like managing some more people.
Like you didn't feel at any point that you would be become a little bit overwhelmed with, you know, kind
Nah,
of,
at that point it's like
or you
all
were good?
systems go. You know, it's
Okay.
like all
Got you.
systems
Got you.
go at that point. So, you know, just started taking on more, you know, clients and managed this girl named Frankie Storm who wrote "Don't Stop the Music" for Rihanna. She's
Oh,
from
wow.
Philly too.
Okay.
She's from Philly too. And then at one point or another, Jay Irvin, you know, he reached out to me, who I grew up with, and, you know, was super close with, you know, from like an early age. Our parents were cool, and
Mm-hmm.
me and his brother that passed were actually super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Corey, and you know, him and his boy Chris have reached out to me like, yo, you know, Jay and Troy Carter have this management thing going on, and they need some more, you know, need some more bodies and could use the help. So I linked up with Jay. We started managing Cassidy together. And at the same time, I'm managing Freeway and Cassidy, which is crazy.
Wow. I didn't realize you were
uh,
managing Cassidy as well.
yeah, yeah. So
Wow, man,
just
you
started,
was grinding, dog.
just started to grow. And that was literally during the Bars album, the Barry Adrian Reese story. It was during that period. That's where I like developed my relationship with Swiss,
Mm-hmm.
and just started to, you know, do more. And at that time, I used to get irritated by people like introducing me as like someone's manager. Like, yo, that's Freeway's manager. Yo, that's Chad West's manager.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know, I don't know why that just used to strike a nerve with me. Like, yo, I'm Ryan, man. Like, stop, you
That's
know,
right.
stop saying that to me. Like,
Yes, that's right.
it's driving me crazy, right? So,
Like
I,
after that, they're supposed to just refer to you as manager. Hey, manager.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
So
know
I
what I mean?
wanted to do more. So I was like plotting on like what could I do to like increase the way increase the way people look at me,
I understand.
and just the way people greet me and look at me. So I wanted to do more, and I was always intrigued by like how people got into these buildings, became A&Rs and all of that stuff. Like I was really trying to figure it out because I used to go to meetings and wait in the lobby for an hour, spend $100 each way, $100 parking, wait an hour, then get in there, and they'd be like, "Oh, you bought a BCD? I'll listen to this and hit you back." And a meeting would be 4 minutes, and I'd be stressed out going back to Philly, driving, mad as hell.
Yes.
I said, man, how people get these jobs, man? Like,
Yes. Yes.
I know if I get in there, I'm gonna go crazy. So
I know that's right.
I started trying to figure out like how do I get in a building. So when I was doing a publishing deal for Chad, like 2007 or something like that, it was this company called Notting Hill. And
I'm familiar with Notting Hill. Yep.
yeah, so they asked me like, "Hey, we don't have any East Coast representation. Would you be interested in consulting for us?"
Wow.
So I was like, perfect. Foot in the door.
Yeah.
Like absolutely. So I
So
did
here,
that.
pause real quick. Some people, including myself, we give up opportunities out of like a fear or feeling like we're not adequate enough or I didn't go to school for this or what I'm saying. So sometimes feel like we're not qualified enough. Sometimes that would be my thing that I struggle with throughout my life. I've been hit with tons of opportunities. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes but I really admire how this company says, hey, we're looking for an East Coast representative, and your whole thing is like, bet I'm on it. So, but you know what I'm saying? But it's like you didn't go to school for that, or like did you ever like get nervous or like, man, I don't feel like I can do that. I wasn't trained to
I
do it.
mean,
Or,
I think it was Michael Jordan that said that you're gonna miss every shot you don't take.
no doubt, man. I
So
appreciate that, man.
so I always just felt like I gotta take the shot. Like if not, why not me?
No
Why
doubt.
somebody else and
Like,
why
why not
not
you?
me? So I was just hungry, man, and I just knew that I felt in my soul I had the ears because I used to sit in the studio with Young Chris, Young Guns, Freeway, and be like, nah, this should be the hook. Chad, you should sample this. Nah, chop that up this way. And people would listen to me.
Gotcha.
And that's how me and Chad collaborated, like on the producing side. Like I used to sit down with Chad at the record player for 10 hours a day. And we would go through records and samples. No Better Love was a record that I just happened to be listening to in the blizzard.
Yeah.
And heard that sample. And I'm like, start screaming up the steps, like, yo, Chad, you gotta come sample this. Like, yo, right here.
No
sample
doubt.
this right here at this speed. So, when people start responding to your creativity, you start gaining that confidence. So, once I started doing that, I just started feeling good. And I was rolling with Rocafella at that point. So I'm kind of like, yo, man, I'm with the hottest rap crew. It's nothing I can't do out here right now.
Especially at that time, Rock was on top, like for real.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You can't lose.
And you hearing 8,000 Dame Dash speeches in the hallway, like you already amped up, because you just hearing him tell you could do anything, just running through the hallway. So when I got the consultant gig, I was like, let's go. And just literally me and Freeway, I think Cousin E was with us. We in Miami, and Free is performing at Mansion. And it's like 2006, I think. And Free goes off of the stage, and this dude comes on the stage at the time, and he performs this song. And that joint drops. Every day I'm hustling. And I'm like, damn, what is that? Like, literally, I didn't know who Rick Ross
Loud,
was
that beat, that bass, you hear something like
I'm
that.
like, yo,
what
that song is crazy.
Yes.
So I'm like, yo, I got to figure out who produced that. And I found out the Runners did it.
Okay.
So the Runners had did that, and they did this song with Lil Wayne at the time, Money on My Mind or something like that. And I chased them down and signed them to the company Notting Hill.
Wow.
So I was having like a bunch of
You was on the grind. So
yeah, they on fire at the time.
I guess the runners may have been like the Chad West and Ryan, you know what I'm saying? They were grinding, got beat to that,
They was like, Metro Boomin, Mike Will, what that is.
Yeah.
Now they were that then. And this is 2006. So, they doing that and everything else. So I signed them to Notting Hill, and they on fire. When I say they on fire, they on fire.
Wow.
So now I'm like, man, I gotta sign some more people. So at the time, DJ Khaled was managing them.
Wow.
And Khaled calls me and was like, this is 2007 probably. He's like, yo, I got another deal for you. I'm like, who? He's like, me.
Whoa! Whoa!
And I was like, yo, let's do it. And I signed Khaled's first publishing deal.
Wow. So all right, so explain that. All right, so okay, you explain what that means. Like, put it in layman's terms for someone who doesn't understand. Like,
every time you hear a song, whether it's on the radio, whether it's in a Christmas card, a commercial, there's a license and money's being made for that.
Okay.
A publishing company, in layman's terms, they're going out to collect your money.
I understand.
And making sure your copyright is protected, and that's all across the world.
Okay.
So you need someone to go collect your copyright and, protect that for you. So I was doing those type, but you give them an advance based on what you think they're going to become, and you work with them creatively to help, foster new opportunities. So that's what it is, just in a quick, layman's term type of thing.
So I understand what it's like for the producer, like, but for the DJ, what was it like?
Yeah, well, Khaled was producing at the time.
So he was producing as well, so same type situation. Gotcha.
But also an artist too.
Okay.
Outside of just being on the radio, he was an artist too. So
got you.
Signed Khaled. He does like We Taking Over and like all of these songs start to come out. And it's, it's
you signed, that's history right there. History is being told. You signed Khaled to his first publishing deal.
It's going crazy, right? But I only consulted for Notting Hill, right? And I had friends that did real publishing jobs at major companies. And I couldn't really work with the people I was signing creatively because it wasn't that type of setup. So you just got
it done and just passed them along to someone else.
Yeah, I got a check and it was kind of like whatever. So I was kind of
almost like a finder's fee kind of thing.
Yeah, I was a little unfulfilled. Like, I'm looking at this as like a real potential lane. And I can't really like boogie the way I want to.
You out on the ground. You the one on the ground.
Yeah.
You're finding all this talent. You know what I'm saying? You're doing the work.
For sure. So then a job became available at Warner Chapel, the company I'm at now in New York. And my guy Zvi and my guy Juan Madrid recommended me for the job. And we just have all this this little saying amongst us of like, yo, if you get the interview, you got the job.
Basically.
Like, yo, we don't mess around. Like, yo, if you get the interview, you got the job. Like, yo, we don't go to interviews and not get jobs.
I know that's right. That's what's up, man.
So, that was like the mentality. Fun little fact, man. My man Shanga Tab, who I went to Bishop McDevitt with, played on the Bantams with, one of my best friends from my neighborhood. He's the one that made my resume for me, and he played football at Temple. But he put my resume together, went up to New York, got the gig, man, and moved to New York. And that's how I really got to this company and got in the position I was in. Just grinding, man.
That's crazy. I'm just putting this that quote in the comment section right there. If I get you, what was it? If I get the interview, I got the job.
Oh yeah, we used to have this thing like, yo, if I get the interview, I got the job.
All right. I'm putting that in the comment section right there. That's classic right there, man.
The funny thing is, I told Ashley Howard that when he was up for a head coaching gig, going to interview for LaSalle, I'm like, yo, man, we come from the place if you get the interview, you get the job,
That's right. That's right, man, for sure. That's classic right there, man. All right, so you're doing the thing for Notting Hill. You're kind of like feeling unfulfilled, and then you said you got a job opened up with Warner Chapel. So explain that.
So yeah, like I said, they were changing leadership. A job became available in New York. A couple people I know, Juan Madrid and my guy Zvi Edelman, put my name in the hat after they didn't like the first round of people they interviewed, and went up there. My man put my resume together. I went up there, my little creative twist to my interview was I took a CD of songs that I placed as a manager, and I took the demos also on a different CD. And then I just had a piece of paper, like all of my contacts. So I would play them like a Britney Spears demo, and then I would play them in the interview like a Britney Spears record, a Rihanna demo that my songwriter had wrote, and then the actual record. And I would just walk them through the process like, yo, I had this demo. I pitched this song, to Jay Brown or whatever, you know, person it was at the time, Jeff Fenster, whoever, and this is the end result. And I was just showing them the process.
Of
And once
course.
they saw that, they was like, yo, man, let's go. You're hired. You know, let's go.
That's dope. So what was the first position that you were hired for at that
So I was hired as a senior director of A&R, of urban, I think it was urban A&R in New York, and that was 2008.
Yeah, and then how much of it did you already know, and then how much did you have to learn regarding the position?
I think
Like
I knew a lot of it because I was managing songwriters and producers.
Okay.
I knew a lot of it, but I had to convert to a little bit of like the corporate structure. I think that was the part I struggled with in the beginning because I was so used to just working outside of a building. I just had to understand like how it worked, you know, just internally. You know, but that didn't take, you know, too long to really adapt to. And once I, you know, got that down, and once I got inside and really looked around, I was like, oh, people don't work hard like I do. I'm like, it's a playground right here. I'm ready to go crazy.
Hey, real quick, hold that thought. I want you to continue, you know, just talking about that journey. But real quick, the Philly grind that you come from, you and Chad, and just, you know, all that grind and all that hustling, all that kind of stuff. How did that mentality? Because that was a great segue into this question. What you just said, like, look, you got into the office, like, man, you looked around, like, man, they don't grind like I grind. Like, they don't have that type of hustle that I have. How did that background and your grind training and I guess call it like boot camp? How did that help you when you got into that corporate kind of you know what I'm saying? Into that.
Yeah, man. I think how I approach my professional career, even to this day, is really from a sports mentality. You know, like all of the grind and all of that stuff is things that I learned playing sports. You know, like I watched Al Williams get drafted. I was at his house. I watched him get drafted, and while everyone was celebrating afterwards, we went to the gym. Literally that night, we went to GA. You know, everyone's on his block, blowing horns. People out celebrating. Obviously, most people go out and party that night. I went to the gym, man. Like
The grind don't stop.
I used to go to Harnett's and sit on the sideline and not work out at all, like not get a run, you know, and not be able to get in. And me, Ash, Mike, whoever else, we just sitting on the sideline, just trying to get one 3-on-3 game in, sitting for 3 hours. So, you know, it's really like a sports mentality of just like teamwork. You know, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. You know, you cut corners, you're going to get the corner you cut, you know, just stuff like that. You know, and then the flip side of that is when I was on the outside, you know, managing, you didn't get paid every 2 weeks. You know, you got paid when you made some money. So, you know, I might have to pay my rent for 6 months off of this check I got.
Got you.
And then get refocused on how to make some more money.
Wow, got you.
And because, you know, Chad and I are family first before the music business, I was grinding with a purpose of like, yo, this is me and my brother in the grind. So it was bigger than money at that point. So when I got in the building, I just had that mentality of like, yo, I don't eat unless, you know, you eat what you kill kind of. And I was just hustling to pay my rent, you know? So like, I'm looking at y'all too comfortable, man. Y'all get paid every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Y'all just sitting behind desks, just, you know, kicking y'all feet up. You got an expense account, like life is good. Like,
Yes.
Man, I'm on the grind right now, you know? And then my father's part plays a role into that, and just my upbringing, just with my mom being a single parent. You know, I watch, you know, the Temptations, you know, being on tour at a young age, they would ride 24-hour bus rides, get off the bus and go straight into rehearsal.
Yep.
Like I've been on some of them trips.
So
I've seen that grind. And then just growing up with a single parent, man, and just, you know, my mom just, you know, holding it down, you know, she took care of everything for 2 boys, man, and like worked, you know, from sun up to sundown. So just that whole grind mentality was already instilled in me from an early age. But when I got in the corporate setting, I just felt like people were comfortable and used to like kind of put 50% in, and I was there to put like 150% in.
I know that's right, man. Real quick, was there any adversity or things were kind of smooth, like your transition into the office, into the
Yeah,
building? I guess I'll call it the building.
yeah.
From being out there, was there any adversity or things were kind of smooth for you as far as the
I
transition?
mean, it's always some adversity. I moved to another city. I lived in Philly my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you got to make a decision. I was in a relationship at the time, and you got to make a selfish decision at that point of
Uh-huh.
like, what's that most important thing to you, man? Selfishly, for me, it was music and my
Gotcha.
career,
Mm-hmm.
and just the complexities of operating inside of a corporate structure versus running your own business.
Mm-hmm.
I was taking a pay cut walking in the building.
Wow, were
To
you?
be honest, like I was making more money
Mm-hmm.
doing my own thing,
Yeah.
but I saw the opportunity
Gotcha.
in what I could become if I went inside this building,
Mm-hmm.
even if it was eventually to come back out.
Uh-huh.
I just looked at the opportunity like, yo, I'll take this pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then
and
a little while ago you said when you were running beats back up back and forth trying to have little meetings, you were always wondering what do you need to do to get inside the building.
yeah,
You
for
know what
sure.
I'm
So
saying?
it was a dream of mine at that point to get inside one of the buildings and like accomplish that.
Of course.
But I was willing to sacrifice. I called every person I was managing, like, yo, I can't manage you anymore. I'm doing something different. And I was just like, hey, man, I'm gonna take this sacrifice, man, and try to become something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
How do you have that conversation for guys that have been dependent on you? You're managing them. Like, how do you have that conversation?
I mean, I was setting it up the whole time of
Okay.
like, hey, I may be looking to do something different.
Okay.
But my conversation was more or less like, yo, once I get in this building, I'm gonna be able to do more
I
things
understand.
for you.
I understand.
Once I increase my network,
Yeah.
and we'll be able to work together in other capacities.
Gotcha.
But once again, I'm making a selfish decision here where
100%.
I got to go do my thing.
Yeah.
And I watched my brother work at a job where he was making a ton of money, and he did something that inspired me. Like he was not happy with what he was doing,
Mm-hmm.
so he left it all and went and worked in a store for Reebok.
Wow.
In New York.
Yeah.
Making like 25 grand a year.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was just like, "Yo, you got to follow your dreams and just follow, what feels right to you."
No doubt. So you have that. You get in. You're in the building now. So take us through that evolution as to and then to what into how you get to where you are now.
For sure. So I get in the building and just grind. I started working closely with this writer artist named Priscilla Renee. We started making tons of stuff happen. Early on, I signed Gucci Man.
Wow. What? Yo, man. Yo, your freaking resume is crazy, bro.
It's funny, man. Coach K is Coach K now. Coach K was, he was Coach K then too, but he was managing Gucci at the time. It's like 2010. Do the Gucci Man deal. He buys a Ferrari on the spot with the check, right in Times Square. So just started having a bunch of success.
Wow.
Leadership changed at the company, and my boss was like, I need you to move. The new incoming chairman, I never met him before. He walks into my office, and he was like, yo, I need you to move to LA.
Wow.
That's just how he walks in my office. He's like, yo, I did my research on you. I need you to move to LA.
Wow.
And I was like, let's do it.
And I love that attitude, man. I think though, if we had to
hold on 1 second, Star. Someone at my door.
No,
I'm tripping. Hold on, y'all.
Take your time. Take your time, man. Take your time, man. Hey, if y'all are listening to this broadcast, man, we got an amazing audience. We've had an amazing audience throughout, man. Shout out to all the GOATs, man, that are on. Shout out to Cousin E, man. Hip Hop Junkies. Shout out to Coach Ash, man. MJ, everybody, man. You guys are in for a treat tonight, man. If y'all have been listening, keep it locked, man. This is legendary. This is history being made, history being told. My man Ryan Press. I mean, he's talking about the grind. He's talking about the evolution of himself. We talk about his basketball history. It's a crazy correlation between basketball and the music industry as it relates to the grind, the hustle. Same thing.
My bad.
No, you good. You good. I was just kind of keeping people entertained. Just talking about like the correlation between like the underbelly of the music industry and your success there with basketball. It's the same grind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Put
So
sacrifice and all that kind of stuff. But go ahead, continue the story, man.
Yeah, so I started to have some success just, signing people internally. My boss asked me to move to LA. And I knew in the back of my mind, LA was always like, the end goal in the sense of everything was happening in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like, if I was going to step my game up, I needed to be in like the epicenter where the creativity was
Yeah.
happening.
One
So
thing. What I was about to say before you walked off. I love it. I was about to say, yeah. If we had to title this interview, I think like the pretty much the theme or the title is pretty much like let's do it. Like let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like let's do it. Because pretty much every opportunity that's been presented to you, it's your answer, your response is like let's go. I'm down. Like I'm all in. Like say no more.
yeah,
Like say less. You know what I'm saying? And I love that,
yeah,
man. Because I mean, some people just, I'm telling you, like, it's some people out there who are going to be so inspired by this interview, man, because some people have opportunities, doors open up, and they kind of like, they kind of second guess themselves, and then they don't do it. You know what I'm saying? But this is really inspiring me, man. So keep talking, man.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. Just touching on that last point you made, man. I feel like I'm doing what I was put on this earth to do
Mm-hmm.
because it's always another door, for me. I was always prepared for it, but it's always another door that I feel like opens up
Mm-hmm.
to a greater a greater thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I put the work in, and I'm always prepared for that because you don't ever know when that opportunity is going to come.
Of course.
And I'll get to different things that happen simultaneously,
Yeah.
just in my life and spontaneously. I mean, but just one of those things, just leadership changing, and the chairman just walked in and was literally like, "I need you to move to LA," and I was like, "I'm out." But I went to LA, got there. It's funny, I was negotiating like, hey, I need this and I need that. If I'm moving to LA, different cost of living, I'm throwing all of these things, out there. And his name is Cameron Strang. He calls me at the time and he's like, listen, I'm not negotiating no more. When you get to LA, we'll figure it out. Get on the plane. And I was like, cool. I got on the plane, worked for about 6 months, and we figured it out. But when I got to LA, same situation from when I said I got into the corporate structure. Like, LA was like heaven on earth. Like, man, it's all these creative people, all these studios, all these songwriters, all these artists, all these executives,
You went
all of
from a
these.
pond to an ocean. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it went crazy, man. And then, when I first got to LA, I was in a relationship with, Brandy at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So just being connected to music that way as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just around music 24/7.
And it's almost like a language, almost like you want to learn Spanish. Now you're in an area where everyone's speaking the language. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
So it just made
Yeah.
it was
So
yeah.
LA was just like I was in a candy store, man. Like, yo, everything I dreamed of in music, like it's at my fingertips for real now. And then you got to think back too. Everything I explained to you about the relationships that I built at Rocafella, all of these people started to elevate
Mm-hmm.
into different major, players in the music business. So
Yeah.
you got Lenny S, growing and being somewhere. You got Shalik and hip hop and G Roberson, and you got Biggs, Dame and Jay Brown and Sherry and Latrice and Emmanuel.
Listen, so now all the contacts in your cell
Yeah,
phone are
so
legit.
everyone that I just was working around and we all grew up as kids together, we're all in different roles and positions now.
Yep.
And these are all people that, you've been in the grind with,
Yep.
like sharing a little piece of a burger with,
Yep.
and like Wayno and everybody else that I could think of, man, that I'm forgetting. But, we're all in different positions now. And even the producers are on different levels now. So, it's like, the Chads and this, but now Kanye is Kanye, Just is Just, Bank
Mm-hmm.
is Bank,
Yep.
like Swiss is, on top of the world, all of these people that I naturally just had organic relationships with.
Uh-huh.
I met Swiss from working with Cassidy and Mo, and just organic. I was there the day Swiss sent Cassidy drinking my two-step as a demo.
Wow.
So now I'm in the business in a different capacity, and I have all of these relationships from managing and people I just came up with. So when I got to LA, it was just like, I know I can like just go, somewhere that I hadn't even saw reachable
Did your
at an early age.
I'm sure your wheels were turning. You had
Yeah,
more
yeah.
ideas.
So
Did your role change, or was it the same?
yeah,
Or
so
was it the same
an
just in a
important thing
bigger
happened.
platform?
Yeah, an important thing happened for me in LA. So when I got to LA, our company brought in Big John Platt, who is, a mentor, brother, at times a father figure, all of those things to me. We brought him in to be the chairman. He's the highest ranking black person in the music business ever.
Oh,
He's like the
wow.
Obama of the music business
And
for us.
what's his name again?
John Platt.
Wow, I gotta write that down.
So John came to our company, and I started reporting to him, and I never had a mentor in my field in the music business up until this point. I had people that I went to, for advice, and people that I leaned on, Jay Irving, Mike Mack and Jay Hips, Mark Byers, Mark and Sherm, like all of these people were like, my old heads, and a lot of people I went to, about things in Philly who helped me out a lot. Like I can't even like speak to like the ways they helped me out. Mike Mack and Jay Hips and Carvin and Ivers let me come in the studio and post up. So all of the things that them and Jay and everybody, did for me, like especially, Jay Irving too, like to get connected with John, he's the first person to look at me and say like, hey, I see major things for you, and let me show you how to get there. And
Gotcha.
someone who I can look at of like, yo, you've done this in my specific field. You're, black man, someone that just I could just relate to on so many different levels. He was actually born in Philly too.
Got you.
Scorpio like me. He moved my office right next door to his office.
Wow.
And he just, he loved my energy. I play music so loud, the whole office hears it. I'm a little crazy in the office, like I just have all that energy.
Yeah.
And he just took me under his wing. It was like, I'm going to this meeting, you going to this meeting,
That's what's up, man.
And he just became that person for me and still is to this day. And, he told me something, it's a couple years later, but he was like, A&Ring is great, and what you're doing is great, and that's good to get you to this point. He was just like, if you want to get from, say the age of 40 to like the next 20, 25 years of your career, you need to start learning leadership.
Okay.
You need to take the time to really dive into leadership right now. How do you lead people and inspire a group? And what does that look like for you? And I had never had someone tell me that and really talk to me about that. And also help hold me accountable. Like if I was CC'd, if John was on an email I was on and I typed, what's up, big star, congrats, instead of congratulations.
Yes.
He would text me on the side like, yo, motherfucker, right, congratulations, like it was like that detail.
Yes.
To how he was on my back. And in meetings, he would kill me in front of like everyone, but it was tough love.
Of
he
course.
was just, showing me the ropes. But that was and is like the mentor that I lean on, and the person that really helped me develop in the true sense of like A&Ring, and also just developing as like a grown-up and leader in the business. And creatively, he's given Jay-Z Empire State of Mind, Beyonce, what's the song, the latest song with Jay-Z? I'm blanking right now, I'm bugging right now, but he's given her so many records and worked with some of the best talent out there. I'm like, that's my boss, but I'm in competition. Like, he's working on a Lemonade album and he's playing Beyonce joints in his office. I'm in my office playing Rihanna joints that I gave Rihanna. I'm turning it up loud. I'm making sure he's hearing it.
Cranking it up.
I'm playing Mike Will joints crazy.
Yeah, like, you come around the corner like, what's that?
Yo, listen to this. Yo, we got the next single coming. Steve Payman just put Formation. Of course, that was one of the joints we worked on together. But, John also trusted me, and, trusted me with a lot of the relationships he had. So, just once again, back to my Rocafella roots, like, I was in tight with a lot of that camp, and that was a lot of the camp he operated in. So I was good with being around a lot of confidential information and, just being able to facilitate all the things he had signed and worked on and worked closely with everyone. And me and John started off together quick. We signed, the first thing we did together was Mike Will and the Eardrummers, like
Gotcha.
that's what really, some things got me going, but that's what really like turned my career like around of like, Mike was, I think he did No Lie at the time, and Mike is on fire. Like, he's on like super fire, and everyone's trying to sign Mike. And I'm like, John, we got to sign Mike. He wanted to sign him too. So, we trying to figure out how to make it happen. And, I'm talking to Mike, like, what's up, man? Like, what's up? He like, yo, fly me, fly us out there. I want this. And no one is talking about this. And I want a lane to build my team. Like, he had the vision mapped out. Like, Mike is a genius beyond his years. Like, he knew what he wanted to do and how he was going to do it. So once, me and John, brought Mike out and, we ended up getting the deal done. Like, being able to help him, just amplify his vision of what he was already doing and already had mapped out. Once, John and I started having a bunch of success with Mike and Eardrummers, like, that started to get me and John in a workflow.
Yeah.
And then it started to bring, like, the real recognition to me as a publisher.
Okay.
Of, like, oh, okay, he's working closely with him. Like, that guy must be serious. And so I thank Mike, 1,000 times over just for, trusting us. Because he had it, with or without us.
Of course.
With or without us, it was happening.
No doubt.
Regardless, we were just like the extra sauce.
No doubt.
But, John just, he took me under his wing, man, and really, like, helped me catapult to, like, where I am today.
What's one thing that you took away from John, or that he instilled in you? You mentioned tons of things. What's one thing, one value that he instilled in you that you continue to live by and that you continue to hear in your ear?
Man, there's so many. I think to touch on a few, like, one, your relationships. If you look at his career, he's been working with J and B, wherever he goes, they go. So just watching, how he's handled the relationships and delivering. You don't just get to that place by just being cool with somebody or cutting a check. Like, I've watched him, be super cool and friends, but also respect that there's a job to do and he has to deliver.
Of course, yeah.
So, I've always taken just from him just the his style of just, how he handles things. Super buttoned up, super professional, talks that talk, in the corporate setting, super prepared. He's executive coaches. I don't want to give everybody the jewels, but
the blueprint, no doubt.
John is just one of those guys, but loves music. At the end of the day, it's not about like how much money you making, your salary, your bonus, position. It's about that music. And early on in my career, I think I was coming back in LA when he was running the company. I was coming back. And this is like multiple, just things. Like, I was coming back from somewhere and I was going to my office to grab my bag. It's like 10 at night. John is in the office listening to music. And I'm like, damn, he the chairman of the company? He in here? Like, what?
That's right.
Or if we would go to the studio or a show, I would be in there like, yo, there's no way John is going to be here later than me. Like, I'm talking to his assistant. I'm trying to find out where he's going to be at. Oh, John going to studios. Oh, he going here. I'm going to be there. I just started showing up everywhere he was at until it was just, until he was just like, man, this guy's getting on my nerves.
No doubt.
But I've taken.
It's almost like he had that like he had that Mamba mentality, like kind of like that Kobe Bryant kind of motivation. You know what I mean?
For sure. But I've taken so much from just being able to be an observer. He would let me. I would just charge into his office and sit on his couch for 2 hours at a time, and he would be handling deals, doing different things, and thankful for him. Like, he would just let me sit there,
Yeah.
and I'll just be sitting there listening, just soaking up any and everything I could of just like, oh, it's a meeting going on in his office. I'm walking in.
That's right.
Oh, you got such and such in there. Boom, 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 boom. Yo, oh, let me come in here.
That's right.
It's funny. One time I was in London, and it was a B&J show in Paris. It was the last show there for like maybe On the Run 1. And John is like, I'm like talking to him like, yeah, I'm in Paris. I'm going to the show tomorrow. I'm like, oh, that's funny because I'm gonna be in Paris tomorrow. I got a meeting. Like, I'm lying, he's like, well, if you're gonna be in Paris, meet me at my hotel and you can go to the show with me. So I'm still hungry at that stage of my career. I show up in Paris like I was already there, go to the show, start to just increase those relationships and just presence of just trying to be where he was.
That's right.
But I've taken so much from him. I can't even put it into words. It's
That's
quotables.
Hey, so continue to tell me how you transition from there kind of to where you are now in your role.
Yeah, so one day, like you said, just being prepared for the opportunity. One time, John walks into my office and this girl named Katie Vinton, and he was like, hey, I need y'all to run the A&R department. And I wasn't planning on that or anything. He just came in like, hey, this is what's happening. Y'all two are running the A&R department.
Wow.
And he was like, I'm not going to let y'all fail. Y'all going to make some mistakes.
Wow.
I'm going to be here to guide y'all through the mistakes. And, it just took off from there. And then...
so do you think, hold that thought, do you think he was kind of, like, from going back from when he said, yo, man, like, basically him saying, look, I see some things in you.
He was setting it up.
That's what I'm saying. He was setting this up.
Setting it up.
Look. You may not understand it now, but I need you to start taking some leadership classes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He was setting it up. He saw some things that
was the setup.
Me and Katie probably didn't see at the time.
That was the setup. I truly believe that. But continue.
Yeah, he set that up. Me and my partner, we ran the A&R department for like 2 years. Once again, random act. John calls me in his office and he's like, yo, man, I'm leaving for Sony ATV.
Wow.
And, I'm under contract and he's just like, it's going to be a lot of opportunity for you. And simultaneously, Katie was leaving to start her own company. Mm-hmm. So in an instance, in one thing, all of this space became available at Warner Chapel.
Wow. So like the chess moves, things started to move around.
So the board, the chessboard opened up for me.
Wow.
And, once again, just being prepared for when the situation, comes, or, like basketball.
Gotta stay ready
when
they call you
six
name.
Man,
yeah.
And when your number is called,
that's right.
You gotta go perform.
That's
you gotta get your lemon pepper Lou on.
That's
what
right.
I'm saying?
That's right.
Like, so, my number got called and new leadership came in. A woman named Carrie Ann Marshall and Guy Moot, and they promoted me to president of A&R, and just
is that something that like that John may have endorsed you for, or like the job, like you had to apply for permission, or
I think John was preparing me. He was preparing me for it the whole way. He didn't have any influence over what their decision was.
Yeah.
Their decision was their decision, and I'm thankful for them for trusting me and promoting me to that role. All credit to them for that. But John definitely prepared me for it, and I had what he did for me also was just sometimes you see, or you think about things that are possibilities, mm-hmm. but you don't know if they're achievable or not. But when I saw John and got to work closely with him, I saw that the dream is real. It's possible. Mm-hmm. Like someone that looks like me, someone that comes from a management perspective, someone who, has the same, energy and things pumping their blood and loves music like me. They've gotten to the chairman level. Mm-hmm. It's possible now. Kind of like when, Barack Obama, became president. It's like, oh, it's possible.
Yep.
So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I can start dreaming beyond, like,
exactly.
Where I'm currently at. So, that was inspiring for me just to have that experience of just being around him. But then, you know, my role became available, man, and I'm in it now, and
And so what's
just,
your,
you
and
know,
let everyone know what your current position is, and you know
yeah.
the
So
name of it, and then what you're doing now.
my current position is president of A&R US.
Oh wait, say that again. What's that P word? What's that?
I hate even saying it, man. President of A&R for the US,
Oh no,
which is
and you know what? Going back to when people would introduce you as manager, you're Ryan Press first.
yeah, for sure,
Ryan Press, president.
absolutely.
Got you. So say the whole thing. Start with your first and last name first. Cause
Ryan
you said
Press,
you ain't like
president
that.
of
You said
A&R.
you ain't like that. So say it
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Ryan Press, president of A&R for the US, which is everything outside of Nashville. You know, Nashville has its own, you know, its own operation. But run the department. It's about probably 15 people on my team, and it's really a group effort. It's a lot of people that make me look good.
Gotcha.
Once again, back to basketball. It's a true team game. You
Gotcha.
know, like I've done a lot individually and all of that stuff, man. But it's kind of irrelevant now. Like it's really about how good my team is, how I motivate others. No one cares if I sign another hot artist or, you know, hot song that's #1 on the chart. You know, it's really about, can I develop the next person, and can they sign a #1 song on the chart?
Got you.
Can they sign a big artist, and really just empowering my team.
And that's that
So it's, you know,
leadership. That's that leadership piece
yeah, that's the
that
leadership
he was
piece
talking about. Yep.
of just like being able to delegate. It's hard to be player coach. You know, I still struggle with that. It's hard to like want to be in the game,
Yeah.
knowing you're still young enough,
Yeah.
still in shape. You can still go get buckets.
Yes.
You know, but the, you know, my my thing is going to be based on how well I'm able to develop my team, and how good they're going to um, you know, what they're going to turn into and where their careers are going to lead. So that's what I'm focused on now. I got a super diverse uh, group of people, which I'm super proud of. You know, a lot of dope men and women that are all super talented. And at this point, man, I get a lot of the accolades, but it's a team effort, man, and it's really a group that really makes Warner Chapel look good. It's not about me at all.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just a piece of the puzzle,
Yeah.
honestly.
How do you keep yourself sharp? Like, how do you stay sharp? How do you you know, like as far as your professional development, like how do you kind of keep,
Yeah.
you know, stay on your toes?
You know, my friends inspire me, to be honest. You know, I talk a lot about, you know, Al and Kat and my brother, and Rob Murray, and a bunch of my old heads, you know, for starters, and Bob Spears, and, you know, a lot of them inspire me for all of the things, you know, they've done, and the things they've shown me how to do it, you know, early on. And then my friends, man, they inspire me all day, man. Like me and Ash always had this thing, like iron sharpen iron.
That's right.
You know, we're often, I'm at a LaSalle practice learning from him. You know, just like how he's interacting with assistant coaches, how he's running a program of young men. You know, Joe Meade is in a great position at
Yep.
LaSalle.
Yep.
You know, he inspires me every day. Mike played professionally 10 years, and then transitioned into an assistant coach. You know, I have so many friends. Chad left the music business, came back into the music business in his 40s, and is right back, you know, kind of where he left off, just in a different role. My brother is now in the music business.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you gave your brother a shout out on your
Yeah,
Instagram page with you know, something that he was getting involved in as well.
yeah. So, you know, all of the people around me like inspire me every day, man. And like, you know, even watching you, man, just watching, you know, knowing you from just in the early days of where you're at now. And literally, yo, I'm on group chats with everyone I grew up with in sports, whether it's Marv, Chuck, you know, whoever, like, you know, just seeing all the different things that everyone else is doing.
I
I
mean, you
still
know,
feel it,
Marv,
you
you know,
know,
Marv has his restaurant, you know what I'm
for
saying?
sure,
Like everybody doing
for
a lot of good
sure.
things, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I watch all the stuff that Tex posts, you know, with his daughters, you know, and like just raising a family and the things he's doing from a work perspective, and just talking to my friends and learning different things, and just, you know, they're calling me for some advice and I'm giving them some advice, and, you know, we just trading ideas, you know. So I never feel like I'm too good or above anybody to really soak up some game all day, and really learn, you know. So that's, you know, one part of it. Then I had, you know, all of the people I've met through the music business that inspire me and keep me straight. You know, my homie Shani, you know, we're talking, she's in a big role in my company. Like, we're constantly in conversations, trading ideas. I'm looking to get better every day. So, you know, and in LA, we got a little crew of like Philly people, of like myself, Sterling Sims, Sean G, Jay Irvin, Troy Carter. You know, we're on Tim, who works at Interscope. We're all texting each other, sending stuff around, trading ideas, different opportunities. Like, that's all day, every day.
Got you.
So, you know, just trying to stay sharp that way, and just leaning on a Troy when I need to talk about something, leaning on a Jay when I need an idea,
Got you.
going to different people and just like talking it out, you know. Like, at the end of the day, I just think when you feel like you got to a place where you become too good to really gain some knowledge or do some research, yeah, I just feel like that's, you know, that's when you just going downhill, you know.
No
So
doubt.
I'm a sponge.
No
I'm a
doubt.
sponge all day.
No
But
doubt.
my friends don't even talk about it much, but just watching the stuff they do is like, we're not in competition like in a bad way, but it's just like, oh, you did that? All
Yeah,
right, cool.
yeah.
I gotta get focused.
It's,
You know what I mean?
it's still competitive as far as
Yeah,
sharpening
for
each other
sure.
and everything. Yeah.
Trust me, me and him are still in a secret competition. You know, like that's just that's
From
just
back
what
in
it
the
is.
day.
But it's really just to inspire each other at the end of the day, man.
Of course. What so in your role or throughout in this current role, what's one of your most memorable experiences so far at Warner Chapel?
I think, you know, speaking specifically off of this year, man, I was blessed that Pop Smoke's family did a deal with me, and Warner Chappell, you know, more specifically, not me, but they trusted me with his catalog and to protect his music going forward. I met him when he was alive,
Oh wow.
and we spoke about doing business,
Yeah.
but just to get that deal done this year, and all of the success that it's having and the reaction that he's getting, and be able to contribute to some of the music you hear on that album, and work closely with Stephen Victor throughout that, you know, process, and still doing that. Like, that's one of those things I hold close to my heart. You know, this year I know he would be proud of, you know, how the music is being you know, received today, and just knowing, you know, knowing we're doing the right thing and doing right by him with his music. Like, for 2020, man, that's my proud personal achievement of the year for that. Just from my new role, you know, just watching some of the young people I hired and work closely with, you know, sign amazing things and grow and just become, you know, different people and growing in their roles. I love to see that happen. I love being a part of that. That's exciting to me. You know, always the thing, you know, the artists and songwriters that I work with is always special. I'm kind of crazy with it. You know, they become family to me. You know, they're not just names on paper.
Of course.
So, you know, being able to work closely with, you know, a lot of people, you know, that's really what I live for at the end of the day. Before it became like a conversation, I signed Nova Wave, which is a female writer and production team. They've worked on everyone from Beyonce to Rihanna to Ariana Grande to DJ Khaled. You know, like, before that became like, you know, we got to find female producers and all of that. Like, I was doing that,
of course,
not because they were females, because they were dope.
Because it was dope,
you know?
Of course.
Yeah, never even looked at it like that. So to, you know, watch the success they've been having, you know, like, anytime I sign someone and it starts from like, you know, almost nothing, and then see them buy houses and provide for their family, and, you know, just all of these different things happen. Like, those are like proud moments for me.
Awesome,
like, take what I get out of it. Like, just knowing that someone walked into my office, had a dream, you know, I helped play a role in like making some things happen, and turn that into like you now taking care of your family, paying for someone in your family to get a surgery, you know, just buying a house, you know, those type of things, changing their life around. You know, those are things for me. Back to my, you know, my guy Chad West, being able to help him transition into like a management role, taking a leap of faith, moving out here to LA and like getting back into the music industry, being able to play a small role in that, like that meant everything to me.
That's a blessing.
Because a lot of people throw this thing around like, yo, you ain't doing nothing for nobody, or you ain't looking out, and you know, all of that stuff, man. It's like knowing that who I came in this business with and who helped get me there,
Yes.
I could turn around and return a real favor.
That's a
You know, that's been one of my like real. I think.
Now you say you were saying I'm still with you. You said that that's like one of the most like I said me.
Yeah, that you know
things that come
that is just
full
like,
circle with Chad.
Yeah. For that to happen this year, you know, that's like one of my most, you know, proud moments. And I didn't make it happen, but I just helped play a role in it. But you know, for us to connect on this level, this many years, you know, later in the business, you know, that's a thing for me.
That's amazing, man. Hey, I only got a couple more things for you, man. Just if you could like reflect on your entire journey so far. Like, what's something that you've, like, one or two things that you've learned about yourself, just about life, from music, from basketball? You know what I mean? So what's some things you've learned about yourself, about life in general?
Sure. Man, that's loaded. I think you touched on it a little bit earlier. Just being open to like change. You know, a lot of change and opportunities and situations have come my way, and I didn't allow myself to get caught up in like overthinking and like, you know, over processing. Like I dove in and really was open to different opportunities. Like I said earlier, I was very selfish and just, you know, being about my professional career, and I was just laser focused with that, you know, and like anything else was just falling to the wayside at that point of just, you know, I've sacrificed relationships, you know, that maybe shouldn't have, you know, been sacrificed, for, you know, certain friendships or people just not on the same path that I was on, different things, but I was just super laser focused on trying to get to, you know, where I was trying to get to. And everyone around me could tell you that. Like, I've always been about the hustle. So I've always been focused on that. You know, as far as Philly goes, like relationships, man, like the power of relationships. Like a lot of the people that I mentioned I'm not just mentioning them because they're like commenting in the section here. Like, these are people I talk to on a daily basis. You know, Marv, Chuck, you know, Tamir, Tex, Bank. I see different people in here. Mike. We in group chats talking about this stuff all day, just talking about different opportunities. We like, yo, should Star have put them on Legends Week? You know, man.
I know that's the biggest
crazy.
topic right there behind
we cutting people up. You know, yo, who he gonna call next? You gonna do it if he call you? You know, but these are all, you know, everything for me starts from basketball and like the whole sports, you know, the sports way of just the power of those relationships. I didn't know back then playing ball down John Hartnett's was going to lead to having like these lifelong relationships. You know, I didn't know meeting some people in college would still be some of my close friends today.
Yeah.
But, you know, just knowing how to like just, you know, foster and just develop those relationships. And, you know, I think for me, learning that about myself of like, I'm like super into just like my relationships that I build with people, and like really being like a person that checks in on a lot of my people in Philly. You know, I want to be connected to the city all day long. All I want to do is talk about old hoops and who I thought I was better than, why they had me ranked in the 30s when I was in high school, and how was this person ranked above me? You know, what's my man that used to do the hoop scoop joint, man?
I forget.
Is it really?
One of the writers?
Yeah, somebody gonna say it on the chat? I'm blanking right now. My man that used to do the hoop scoops rankings, man. Man,
he would always dog you in the ranking.
That thing used to come out, man. I used to be stressed
And
out.
you know,
Like, yo,
people
come
go,
on,
you know,
man.
that was before social media and all that, so everybody goes straight to the, like,
Yo,
you know what I mean?
I be stressed out. Like, yo, man, my ranking is low, man. Y'all killing me. Like, man, they don't respect my game. Y'all remember one time me and Chuck was just laughing about this. Me and LP was mad. You know, RIP, my brother LP.
Lamar Plummer, rest in peace.
He was like number 13, right? He was hot, right? He was, when I say hot, he was hot. We went to PW to watch Chuck and them play against Coatesville in high school. Alan Rubin.
Alan Rubin for sure.
We went to PW to watch Chuck Moore play, so we could figure out why he was ranked above LP, right? And I know
y'all
Chuck,
went on a hate mission.
No, I was rolling with my man, but I known Chuck since running track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's my guy from back in the day. But we on a mission, like, man, we gotta go check these dudes out, man. You know, like
to see if it's real.
Funny enough, man, like back in high school, Len was like that person everyone had their eye on. If you was a Philly guard, you was like, yo.
Len was the measure. He was the measure.
I gotta face up with this dude to see the hype, right? So, you know, all respect to my man, right? You can get a bucket on Len. You know what I'm saying? That's my dude, but you can get a bucket on Len. So, like, Len would give you that 35, right? But you would get that 30, and you would leave like, man, I'm just as good as this dude. You know what I'm saying? But you're not really.
You're not.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm on his level.
Yo, man. I used to see the games. It would be like me and Joe getting ready to go down Narberth League, and it would be like him and Kyle Myrick was on the same team. I'm like, yo, I'm going at Len hard when I see him.
And then you go back and check the rankings, they don't change.
And I'll be like, that shit ain't changed nothing, man. Then you look in the paper and Len had 50, and you'd be like, man, I ain't on his level. It's funny, one time at Temple, Len's mom walked up to me and LP and was like, yo, why y'all always playing so hard against my son? And I was like, man, because he number one on this damn chart. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see what's good. But that's my brother, though, man. I was never as good as Len, ever.
That's funny.
But, you know, that was just like that thing you was just looking at, like, man. And that's all I want to do every day is talk hoops, man. We used to go at PW. Chuck used to open the gym. And all of us would be up there, you know. Al, Cat, Buck Salmons, Bree, you know, Tamir, Jermaine, you know, Dookie, Joe.
All the homies,
everybody.
Man.
We going at each other like our lives depend on it.
That's what's up.
We all competitive, trying to kill each other.
Hey, real quick, while we talking hoops again, I want you to just give some advice in two areas. Give some advice for some young basketball players that are watching this right now. Some young guys in high school, you know, some keys to success, you know, as it relates to that, and then change it. You know, same thing for like some musicians, some producers, some recording artists, some keys to success, and some, you know, some encouragement for them. Some things that you wish people would have told you and Chad back then.
For sure, I think on the basketball tip, you know, you gotta put the work in. Honestly, man, like, listen, I look back at my basketball career and I'm like, listen, I didn't put all that work in until like late in my career. So I get it. You know, like I said, Mike was the one in the gym on Saturdays. Like, I wasn't that dude in the beginning, but I see all of these young cats trying to like skip the steps. But I used to sit at John Harnett workouts and John would tell me I was trash. Like, you ain't got no heart. You ain't like your brother. You ain't never playing for me. But I would come back every day and just sit on the sideline. And then get in there for like 2 minutes. Rick Brunson scored 50 points on me, you know, in 2 seconds. You know, like, you know, I would always get to put on Al's team because I was his youngest. So, like, you know, I would be on Al's team. I would get like a run here and there. But you got to put the work in and like really wait your turn. That was the great thing about Johns, man. You wasn't skipping those steps over there. And all the talent was there. I remember getting banged on by Andre DeClerc in a one-on-one drill down that joint, man. But you got to put that work in, man. One summer, me and Mike, I think 2 summers, me and Mike, we stayed at John's crib and worked out, you know, all summer with John and just going to workouts just to get our games right. So you got to put the work in, you know, and really put that grind in. No one is where they are by accident. Like I was saying, Al, man, like you know, he worked for everything he got, man, and like he ain't go out, man. He was going to that gym.
That's right.
You know, Cat too.
And both of them,
You know, so
Cat and Al, when I interviewed them both, they both said the same thing. They both said the same exact thing.
they put that work in,
Yep.
you know, like for real, you know. So, you know, just you know, being around that part of it, and just saying to the young people out there on the basketball, you know, side, you got to put that work in, man.
That's right.
And really, you know, be laser focused on just, you know, being in that gym, and just making that like your sanctuary, man.
Yep.
And really like locking in
Yep.
and being coachable, you know, at the end of the day.
Yep.
Same thing relates to, you know, the music business, man. Like it's a relationship business. You got to invest and build it. You know, you got to put work and energy into those relationships. It's not just what somebody could do for you. Like, what can you do for them? What value do you bring? You know, you want to seat at the table. What you bringing? You know, what's the meal you putting at the center of
Of
the
course.
table?
What side you bringing at least?
Yeah, for everyone else. And you know, I think in both things, whether it's in the music industry or in sports, like just teamwork. You know, just that teamwork, knowing how to be a team player. I think that relates to both sports and to music, and never just being above learning. You know, like I was saying earlier, man, I go to Ash's practices, you know, sometimes or call him and like to learn, you know. He's younger than me, you know, so, you know, it's no ego involved of like feeling like, you know, someone's younger than you can't learn. I'm trading ideas with my friends. I just think that relates to, you know, everything, whether that's basketball or the music business. But the music business, it's a grind, man. You got to think. Everyone's trying to get in it all day. You know, no different from basketball. Everybody play ball. Everyone's trying to get in the music business. How are you going to separate yourself from the pack? You know, what's going to make you different? What's going to make you, you know, special, noticeable? Are you going to go, you know, I can proudly say I wore every hat. I was a driver, assistant, you know, manager, just someone to talk to, you know, whatever the job was. I'm like, man, throw the hat on. I'm road manager today.
That's right.
You know, I'm whatever it is. I'm locked in. When I used to go on shows with Freeway, I would DJ some shows.
Word.
I'd be the hype man. I pray none of that footage is out there.
Dog, you did it all. That's what's up, man.
I was all of those things.
That's what's up, man. Well, I appreciate that, man. Well, that's pretty much everything I have for you this evening, man. Just want to say my thank yous right now, man. I mean, I have a list of. I just first I want to thank you for being first off. I just want to thank you for giving me your time. You know, what I mean, I know how valuable time is, especially these days, man. Thank you so much for giving me and my audience like 2 hours of your time this evening. Thanks for being a good brother, man, a good friend. You know, we have history. You know what I'm saying? Every time I've seen you, every time we've crossed paths in our lifetime, it's been a smile. It's been a handshake. You know what I'm saying? It's been always genuine love, man. Thank you for your contribution. That's what we're here doing right now, celebrating, you know, your contribution to basketball. You know, thank you for your contribution to the music industry, and thank you. Just, I mean, dog, if you think back, just like you said with the with the females that you signed, and what it does for your heart to kind of be able to see people, you know, providing for their families, all that kind of stuff. Think about all the lives that you've impacted, man, indirectly, directly, indirectly, man. Whether it's a major encounter, just a word of wisdom, just whatever it was, man. You've blessed so many people in your position, and the humility. It seems like you really realized, even from the start, that this thing was probably never about you. It's bigger than you.
For sure, man.
You know what I'm saying? It was never about you. It's bigger than you, man. And you realize that. You know what I mean? God has a bigger purpose for you, and he's still not done with you. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. I appreciate you, Star. I mean, yo, listen, you've been in and around and helped shape the culture, you know, for so long. Like, honestly, I don't even like to do a bunch of interviews, man, and talk a lot, you know.
I know.
Like, you know, amongst my friends,
thank you, man.
I was giving you a hard time. You like, yo, can you do it? I'm like, I don't know, man. But, you know, you've been so influential, not in just Philly, but just the entire business, man. You don't know, man, the impact you've had, you know, in this culture for so long, how many people you put on, you know, how many careers you help, you know, launch, and all the stuff you know, continue to do, and all this great, amazing footage and highlighting people like giving people their flowers, man, and like just celebrating all of our great Philly legends and outside of Philly, on the court, off the court. We joke all the time about some of the interviews, but really we're all tuned in, man, and really just locked in and love hearing, you know, some of these stories that, you know, people tell and reconnecting with some of our people, man. So like just the fact that you take the time to celebrate a lot of like, you know, young, you know, not only African American, you know, people, but just taking the time to celebrate us, man. That's important, man. I don't think you realize how important that is, taking the time to do this, man. So I'm appreciative for, you know, you know, choosing the time to talk to me, but you've been in it from day one, you know. I was looking at some old footage you had of me judging a rap.
Yes.
I don't even remember I was at. You know, me and Cosmic Kev.
Yeah, that was down at Club Flow. You was in the cut. You know what I mean?
Yo, I didn't even remember that.
Listen,
so,
and I'm
not
sure if I kept it in the full footage. I think it's on there. You lean over to me and you be like, "Yo, man, your guys ain't bringing it tonight, man. They ain't bringing it."
Man. So, you know, even back then, you know, I wanted to be around what you were doing. So you provided like a major outlet for a lot of young brothers to help change their life, man. So I think, you know, we got to celebrate you, you know, because it's so important for what you've been doing, man. Not only just being there, but, you know, you helped change some people's lives, man. So, you know, hats off to you, man. But thank you for, you know, taking the time to, you know, talk to me, man. Like, I'm so appreciative to just be one of the, you know, tons of people you celebrating, man. And like I said, man, I'm very humble, man. Like, I don't even look at myself in a lot of the ways that you explain and people I've touched, and like, I'm still the same dude.
No doubt.
And workouts, basically.
No doubt.
No doubt. Cursed out.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So,
well, that's an awesome stance, and that's an awesome space to be in, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you stay on the ground, you stay in tune with reality, what's going on, man, and that's just a blessing, man. That's the best position to be in life is the position of being a servant.
For sure.
And that's what and that comes from God. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So being a servant, man, is at your core. That's who you are, and you can't lose, man. You can't lose.
For sure. And I just want to say, you know, thank you to, I can't sit and name everyone, but I touched on a lot of them, man. Like, Philly is why I'm here, you know, at the end of the day, man, in my position. Like, I really benefited from all of, you know, the Philly relationships and people in Philly helping open up doors and opportunities for me. I speak about Sparks a lot. Freeway being one of the first major artists to, you know, let me manage him. You know, Mike Mack, Jay Hips, Troy, Mark Byers, Sherm, all of the OGs that helped open the door. Carvin and Ivan, you know, Dre and Vidal, and, you know, Philly showed up. Troy, you know, Philly showed up. Cosmic Kev, you know, they all helped me get to where I'm at. So, you know, when I'm out here doing my thing, I feel like I represent the city, because, you know, Johnny Arson.
Oh man, rest in peace, Johnny.
You know,
J-Dot,
that's the, you know,
like
I said major artist for Freeway, but like that's the first artist that I managed.
Wait a minute, you managed J-Dot, Johnny Arson?
Johnny A&R hotter than the playoffs.
Yo, Johnny A&R hotter than the playoffs. Come on, yo, that's my heart.
Absolutely.
Yo, my wife is on here, Stars Diva. That's my wife. Johnny Arson came up and spent the night at our house in Harrisburg, dog. He loved my wife's lasagna.
My brother. That's the first person,
man.
That's the first artist, first rap artist that let me manage him.
Yo,
man.
Listen, let me tell you a funny story about Arson. Me and Kev Sanchez, you know, Tanner the Beast, you know, we always we crack up, and me, my family, you know, Harry Allen and Narsan, we always laugh about Arson. Wherever he had his one rap that he would rap. He would switch the names and make you think that the rap was about you. The one joint.
Oh like, man, I'm sure Ash on here knows it word by word.
Listen, if he was with Ash, he'd be like, me and Ash at the Sixers game. Down half court is some Sixers game, da-da-da. And if he was with me, he'd be like, me and Star at the Sixers game. And you'd be like, yo, he put my name in a rap.
Yo, that's the first artist to let me rock, man.
Yo, and he was you talking about love? He was in love with Ash. He loved Ashley Howard so much, dog. He would always be like, he loved Ash and he loved the Lakers.
Absolutely. And I'm a Laker fan too. So, you know, we always connected on that. But literally, no lies, man, that's the first artist that let me manage them like in that role outside of like
Wow.
managing producers, man.
Yo, this interview is more special than you know. Arson was my heart. That's my man, dog.
Real talk,
Oh
man.
man.
You know, so when I say like Philly helped me out, man, like Philly held me down, man. Like
Oh man.
I really wouldn't be here without, you know, all the support from like my Philly guys, man. You know, like really stepping up for me. All the state property guys, like they all, I've done so many things and they helped me get to so many different places through, you know, introductions, through bringing me around, and really bringing me and Chad into the Rocafella fold. You know,
Bless you, man.
that changed everything for me. I don't know what I would be doing if that hadn't happened.
Man, you're such an inspiration, man. And just to kind of and this interview is perfect, almost as if this was like a story or a movie that we put on for the people tonight. And how it kind of comes all the way back, to Chad. You know what I'm saying? You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
Him doing his thing. He's still involved. Got back involved, and it's just a blessing, man. This whole thing is a blessing, man. So just thank you so much, and I pray that your story is not done. You know what I'm saying? It's tons more things that you're going to get involved in, things you're going to do. So I'm just happy to be here for as a part of your timeline, observing your journey. So I'm just looking forward to continuing to watch how God's going to continue to move for you, man, and how you continue
For
to
sure, man.
impact the
And
culture,
just
man.
For sure, man. Just knowing how crazy Philly is, man. I'm wearing a Philly shirt right now,
No
man. Just
doubt.
supporting the hands up, guns down movement,
Yes, sir,
man.
for
Just,
sure.
supporting that, at an early age. My brother was a victim of gun violence, man. So, just trying to stay connected to that in our city, man, and just, giving these young, brothers just a different outlook and perspective on life and trying to help empower our youth has definitely been, a part of, my goal moving forward. It's one thing to have success in music, but just trying to see how you can use that voice and that influence to help make some real change, outside of, just the music business change, but just trying to, be more laser focused in that area as well too, especially in our city, man, with
Yeah,
just a lot of crazy things happening out there.
for sure.
But I thank you, Star. Like
No doubt.
seriously, man. Like I
Well, two
appreciate
more
you.
things real quick, man. If I can get my hands on, how can I need some Warner Chapel. I need a hat. I need some a t-shirt.
I got you covered,
I
man.
need
I
a
got you
Warner
covered.
Chapel care package, man, so I can represent, man. So I can represent my guy, man. I need some gear, man.
I got you covered, man. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna hit you offline.
I see. Yes, sir. And also, any ideas, man? I mean, you really inspire me, like the blueprint and just everything you're saying. Like, so any ideas? You know me. You know how I'm moving. As far as Raw Sports, like my Legends Week, my interviews, all the stuff that you see me doing. If you ever have any ideas, any tips, just any as your wheels turn, as you think about me, what you see in me, never don't feel don't hesitate to call me to let me know, yo, Big Star.
I got you covered, man. I
Yeah, I
got you
appreciate
covered.
it,
Last
man.
thing too, I see my backcourt mate on here, Ty Crutchfield.
Oh, TC
I see
on here.
my
Where
guys
TC
in
at?
here.
Where TC at?
Me and Ty Crutchfield, PNC Bank, he used to call us. Because
Oh,
we
we're
used to
tired.
deposit
Oh,
them buckets.
yeah. TC, you on?
He
Hey,
used to be like,
TC,
yo, man,
we
we
were shouting you
PNC
out,
Bank.
dog.
You know, me and Ty, man, we should have did more, man. But yo, like I said, man, my brother could have started at any school in the city,
No
man.
doubt.
He
No
was
doubt.
a certified bucket getter, man.
No doubt. Hey,
Shout out my boy.
any last minute thoughts, man, before we sign out?
No, we good, man. I appreciate all my brothers tuning in, man. I see everyone
Hey,
in the comments joking on me,
group chat gonna be
Marv.
crazy
I see
tomorrow.
Tex. I see Butter, Mike, Joe, Ash. I see all my guys checking in. Tamir hating. That's what he do.
I know y'all group chat gonna be crazy.
Yeah. I see him locked in. So all my brothers, just cousin E. Me and cousin E been in the grind forever, man, and we still got a close relationship. Do a lot together. And like I said, I just end with just the power of relationships, man. All of the people here, man, I love that these are just people I've known for like 20 years, man, plus.
No doubt.
And we still super tight in a real way.
No doubt.
To this day. And that's important to me, man. So I feel good about that.
No
So
doubt.
thank
Well,
you,
hey,
Star.
just want to let my audience know, man. I just want to thank all you guys, the Raw Sports family, all my followers and supporters, all Press's followers and supporters that have joined us tonight. This entire interview is going to be on my YouTube channel, Raw Sports Films YouTube. If you're not following it, make sure you go to YouTube and follow my YouTube channel, because that's where the interview is going to be once I delete it, from this Instagram feed. Also, if you're not following my Instagram page, make sure you follow me now. Everybody that was on there tonight, follow Raw Sports Films on Instagram so you can catch more interviews like this and all kinds of stuff, man. Hey, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, man. I'm gonna leave it with rest in peace to my brother Johnny A.R. Rest in peace to my brother Lamar Plummer, man. You know, that was my heart right there, man. So rest in peace to my brothers, man.
No doubt.
And thank you, man.
Hey,
Thank
signing out, man. You on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast, man. Continue to hold it down. Make sure you hit me up so I can get some gear, man. Appreciate you.
And rest in peace to my brother Jeff, man. You know, my brother Jeff Jordan, man.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
Those are my guys, man.
Rest
but thank you, man. We'll connect offline.
All right, big dog. Bless you, man. All right.